The SCR950 is the second Yamaha press intro this year, offering a restylized version of an existing model, the first one being the XSR900 launched a few months ago and reviewed here. With the XSR, Yamaha took the laudable SZ09, dressed it in vintage 70s attire, and upgraded the bike's performance with better suspension and some ironically modern electronics. For the SCR, Yamaha took the popular Bolt model, stirred in some select features from the C-Spec, reimagined it as a scrambler, and, voila, another trace chic neo-retro from circa 1977. Yamaha's disco-era trend began 2 years ago with the introduction of the SCR950 First Ride reviews, and the SCR950 continues that trend. Ironically, if you look at Yamaha's promotional video for the SCR, none of the riders featured were actually alive during the era that they remember when riding meant fun, friends, and adventure. Welcome back. Tagline refers to. That being said, this marketing approach shows that Yamaha is aiming for the same youth market that the Ducati Scrambler and the Triumph Street Twin have in their sights. The focus on friendliness, fun, adventure, and customization, all at an approachable price, rather than outright performance, is one of the hallmarks of this market. A quick look at the SCR950 makes it obvious that the Bolt has gone all scrambler on us, but what exactly has changed? Perhaps even more importantly, what hasn't? The SCR, while utilizing the same frame as the Bolt, has a new steel subframe that raises the seat from 27.2 inches to 32.7 inches. That's a 5.5 in change and has a massive effect on the riding position. The C-Spec's seat height is 30.1 inches, making the change noticeable, too. Since the SCR uses the same foot peg location as the C-Spec, the riding position has moved to much more standard fare. Couple that with a high, wide, steel off-road style handlebar, and the rider is in a comfortably upright position. Additionally, the peg and bar relationship is perfect for standing while on rough pavement or in the dirt. The wheels are now spoked with aluminum rims and shod with Bridgestone trailing block pattern tires for pavement and light off-road duty. While the front hood retains its 19-inch diameter, the rear grows to 17 inches, the 1-inch increase from the Bolt. This is important for two reasons. First, because the rear suspension is unchanged, the SCR's new rear wheel and tire raise the back of the bike by 0.4 inches once the tire sizes are factored. In addition to providing a tad more clearance, the larger rear wheel steepens the SCR's rake to 28.4 degrees from the Bolt's 29.0 degrees while keeping the trail the same 5.1 inches. Second, the narrower profile of the SCR's rear tire combines with the new rake to make it steer a little quicker. Compared to the Bolt line, the SCR is $700 more expensive than 2017 Bolt, $300 more than the R-Spec, but only $9 more than the C-Spec that it most closely compares to feature-wise. So, we're looking at a high bang-to-buck ratio here, at $8,699. The engine is mechanically the same as the Bolt and the C-Spec, incorporating the 942cc, 60-degree V-twin engine that saw its genesis in the SCR950. As such, the pistons are forged aluminum sliding inside ceramic composite cylinder liners for better cooling and durability. Roller rocker arms reduce frictional losses in the valve train and assist the SCR in achieving a claimed 51 miles per gallon. The pair of 35mm side draft Mikuni throttle bodies feed those cylinders, with each throttle body getting its own butterfly valve and injector for optimal performance. The closed-loop EFI feeding the engine has been revised to account for the flow characteristics of the slightly upswept exhaust. With such minimal changes to the power plant, the character and output are immediately familiar, bringing all of the Bolt line's usability front and center from the first release of the easy-to-modulate clutch. The SCR's torque starts early since there's no tachometer. I can't be more specific, and maintains a relatively flat curve through the mid-range. The horsepower builds from there but peters out before the red limit. This works nicely with the backrow exploring portion of the SCR's job description when navigating remote, narrow, goat path-like roads. The engine can chuff along in second gear through tight switchbacks, then allow acceleration back up to cruising speed, all with just throttle control. When time comes to shift, the gearbox provides slick, positive shifts both up and down. Around town the SCR is all Bolt, pleasant and perky, Get it on a winding paved road, and the SCR can be ridden in a surprisingly sporty manner, stirring the gearbox for brisk acceleration. Since the SCR's double cradle steel frame and the engine's solid mounts remain unchanged, only the rear subframe was altered. All of the base numbers for the suspension stayed the same. The 41mm standard fork retains its 4.7 inches of travel and spring rate of the C-Spec. It also sports C-Spec gaiters. The piggyback shocks are also the same length and spring rate as the Bolt and C-Spec. However, the damping rates have been slowed for a firmer ride that is slightly more resistant to the hard hits that can happen in the dirt. On smooth or mildly rippled pavement, the SCR feels exactly the same as the Bolt, absorbing the pavement irregularities. When encountering bigger hits on broken pavement or ruts in the dirt, the limited rear travel means that the progressive damping firms up very quickly until the shocks bottom. Fortunately, the new riding position makes it easy for the rider to rise up off the seat, using her legs as a personal suspension system. Frankly, 2.8 inches of travel is not enough for any kind of off-road use, but within the constraint of using the same frame as the Bolt, the shocks make the best of very limited travel.